Get this shit a long way, shit a long way. Long way, hit it long way, 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 shit long way, long shit long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit, gotta get the shit long, finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit, gotta know the shit don't really understand, man. Gotta know the shit don't really understand, man. Gotta get a mirror shit, understand shit. She be trippin' every day, she be trippin' every way. But I gotta get the shit a long way, gotta get the shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be a new slave. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand, she's gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my palm strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like the palm way. My name is Tari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done talking. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I want to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get the shit the long way, long way, we gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the palm way, yeah. Man, I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for yeah. So we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, yeah, yeah, we get the shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Remove the wrong thing. Okay, now I'm back. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. What's up, Aaron, Doomba, Malika, Ulysses? Thank you very much for getting in here early. I know I never really do videos this late. Hold on. Videos this late, but I had first let me introduce myself. That if you don't know who I am, I'm LJ, the founder of SMD. SMD is a family. I'm LJ. Even though I created SMD, I'm still part of SMD because SMD is a family. Because once you understand and become an SMD family member, you'll know exactly everything I'm saying, what I mean. And if you're new, you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean? Well, I fully understand that capitalism is psychological. Clearly understand, that's crystal clear. No doubt about it. It's not a made up, it's not a myth. It's not a, hey, it's my theory or how I feel. It's a 100% mathematical fact, and I've discovered it. Okay. And all I do is share it with people let me go back. By understanding that capitalism is psychological, I also understand that none of this works without people, because humans are the only species on earth that consume unnecessarily. So of course it can only be us. Okay. I understand. So there must be people that know. Put it this way, the majority must not know. And there must be only a few that do know that capitalism is psychological. That's just how it works, And then once you understand, you see the true purpose of taxes, why they're there, what their purpose, blah, blah, and all you got to, but in order to understand that, you must first own yourself. And by owning yourself, is how you will ever understand, is the only way that you could ever understand that capitalism is psychological. There is no other way. I want you guys who are listening, there is no other way for you to ever understand what I'm saying if you don't own yourself first. You can't. That would be against the laws of mathematics. Okay. Wouldn't be able to do it. But anyway, uh, once you own yourself, you understand capitalism is psychological. You also understand that time is the most valuable thing on earth. Nothing comes before time because why? Humans die. We all die. Of course, it's time. Of course, there's nothing above time. But you don't really understand that when you don't own yourself because you don't own the time in your life when you're in debt. Like you guys don't know that your credit reports that you guys just rave over and think you can't live without, those are just simply owner ledgers. That's it. They're just owner ledgers. They keep track of who owns you. And then they reward you with credit scores as a thank you for staying in debt. That's how it works. Okay? It's not, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just business. Okay. If you don't trust mathematics, that's your problem. Anyway, once you own yourself, and this is for the young man, I know it's very hard for you to understand this because when you're young, you think you're supposed to get the baddest, and you think you're supposed to hit all the ass you can, and because that's repeated in your brain over and over and over until you're adult, and you just naturally fall into place. I'm here to tell you, none of that is true. None of it. And I'll tell you why. Okay, because these are things that you can see clearly when sex controls you. It's clear. Okay. Now, when you are fully a conscious human being that knows there's a disease out there called AIDS that will kill you if you catch it. It could possibly kill you, but you still have sex without a condom, regardless. Of course, sex controls you. Right there, that should tell you right there. Hey, do you know there's a disease out there that will kill you? Yeah, but you're gonna do it anyway with no protection. Yeah, I want it that bad. Okay, obviously, sex controls you because you're about to cut the time. You could possibly gamble the time of your life away here on earth for some sex. Now, when I didn't own the time of my life, I didn't think about it that way. Do you understand me? I did not think about it that way, even though I consciously knew that could be a possibility. Once you own yourself, I'm here to tell you that never happens again, ever. Now, when owning yourself, I don't really know how to explain this part, okay? Once you own yourself, sex no longer controls you. It no longer controls me at all. It doesn't. I'm in full control of it. It doesn't make me do things that I don't wanna do. It just because it's there, or stupid, or wreck relationships because, I wanted to hit that. That doesn't happen. Now, with having this, and this part I really can't explain, but you can see it when you're as a man that's in control of sex now, you kinda look at all the other men around you, and you see everything we do. It's just, I mean, it's just obvious. It just says it. Now I'm saying that because that was me. That was me with the same old hungry look and thinking I have to hit every ass and all. It's just bananas, willing to wreck relationships, have kids that I know I'm not supposed to have, all that, all that. When you own yourself and you and then you think about, hey, I could bring another life. Listen, if I have unprotected sex with this person, with this woman, not only could I catch a disease, I could bring actual another life into this world, a life, another human being that I am now responsible for. I mean, you don't, it's weird that you just, okay, anyway, that's not where I meant to go with that, but it's just crazy, right? But when you're in control of sex, I'm telling you, women can tell. Cause I kid you not, say like, normally, if you see say like you're walking down the street one way and then there's a woman that's dressed very sexy coming the other way, right? It's almost as if, not in a conceited way, okay? I can't really explain this part, but it's almost as if she's expecting you to look her up and down. because that is just what happens to her all day. But when you don't, or when she passes, you don't actually turn around to look, they'll be like, "Whoa." It's a different kind of energy because I'm not faking it. That now and okay, how can I explain it? Okay, yeah, I can clearly see a woman that looks good coming my way. Okay, don't get me wrong, I'm not blind. Okay, but it's not that hungry. I want to get some of that ass look. It's not like that. And I kid you not, women pick up on that. I promise you that. I don't know how to explain it because I'm just entering that. I'm only a few years into owning myself, so I got to get used to it. Now, where I live in South Carolina is a vacation city. So people come here to vacation. So there's always events going on, and just different things always happen all through the summer, through the year, right? Except the winter months. And so me and my girl, we attend some of these functions because we just like certain things when they come here in town, right? I kid you not, man. We went out this weekend with her family came into town. We just went, did all kind of stuff, right? And we went places where there were beautiful women there, but it just ain't like that no more, because some dudes will go someplace with their women and still be looking at other women. And then the woman you looking at clearly see it's like a chain. You don't really think about it. It's like a chain reaction. So if you are with somebody, okay, now listen, if you are with somebody at an event and then you're flirting with another person, and that person that clearly sees you are with somebody, they flirt back with you. That's you see how you attract the same energy? You're gonna get what you attract. That's what you're doing. You're gonna get exactly what you're doing because that other person accepts it too. But when you own yourself, that is part of your world. Because if I'm out with somebody and I see a woman try to flirt with me and she's clearly with her man, I'm not gonna respond to her. Are you crazy? None of the stuff like that is no longer allowed in your life. I promise you that. Why? Because you now control sex. Sex doesn't control you no more. You think about all that because you own yourself now. So when you own yourself and time is the most valuable thing on earth, you're not going to accidentally impregnate a person that doesn't own themselves because that person will tie you to the debt matrix for the next 18 to 20 years of your life. That'll be your anchor, all because of you. Court dates, family court date, other weekend father going into chat rooms and being angry at the baby mama is ain't shit. No, all you gotta do is get up and look in the mirror. It's you. Because once you own yourself, you won't do that. I promise you. If I knew, and it's sad to say, but it's true. I'm gonna just say it's true. If I knew this information when I was in my 20s, I wouldn't have children. I would have never been married, probably ever married. Definitely wouldn't have had children at the young age I did. That would have never happened. Not even close. Because having children while you're in debt and you don't know you're in debt, and then you're having children on top of that, you have no idea how far that sets you back. You have no clue. And then you add in lawyers and divorce and splitting of houses and property. You guys have no idea what you're doing. But when you own yourself, you won't do that because you'll never marry a debt slave. You'll never marry a person that doesn't own themselves, don't care about having student loan debt, think car payments are normal. That will never be your world. That's their world. You wouldn't care how fine she is. You'd be like, man, if I accidentally get her pregnant, this could tie me to the debt metrics for the next 20 years of my life. Sure can. Thank God when I was younger, let me tell you something, because it never felt right, right? I used to have, when we were young, we're young having kids, and I had friends that just didn't pay their child support, fall behind on this and that. and they would lose their license and all this other stuff. I said, "Nah, I'm cool with that." Always kept up on my payments. I didn't care what. I never fell behind on my payments, never. Because I used to see what happened to my friends. I used to say to myself, "I don't want that to happen to me, so let me go ahead and pay what I'm supposed to pay. I'll figure all the other stuff out later." And when you're out there dating, man, and you're doing dirty shit behind your partner, man, that obviously like, think about it. So like you're a married man with 3 children, nice house, white picket fence, you've been married for 10 years, 2 great careers, because this happens all the time. And then you go around and fuck around in wife and get caught. Like that right there, that should prove to you that sex controls you because you are willing to risk your entire life for some ass. That is, when I think about that shit today, that is absolutely bananas to me. And I'm a man. That's absolutely bananas to me. Wait a minute. If I fuck her and get caught, I could lose my wife and my kids and my house and everything. Yeah, for that 1 second of one night of pleasure. Are you crazy? If it, if you're a real man, hey man, if you're say it like this, say like you're just not ready to stop fucking, right? Just say like that. Say like just all you got to do is a real man and go up and tell your wife and say, hey, you know what? I want a divorce, and you tell her why. You say, hey, I still want to see other, and I still want to have sex with other women, and then you get a divorce. You say it like that, and then do it. How many men you think there would do that had the balls to do that? Hell no. But when you own the time in your life, see, you will never even end up in that situation. Your chances, your 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 chances of ever ending up in family court are at 0 to none. Being part of the divorce rate and all that stupid nonsense, 0 to none, because you definitely will never procreate with a dead slave ever. Sex that I'm telling you, it is just the women can see it, they can feel it. I mean, it's kind of odd when you don't respond like the average dude all the time, seeing a particular sexy woman. When you don't respond like that, I'm telling you, I kid you not. And again, I'm not even trying. It's just me. Because when I like put it this way, not only because I'm with my woman, right? I don't know if that woman right there, I don't care what she looks like. Is she a debt slave or not? I don't know until I get to know her, and getting to know her would be wrong, so I don't have to worry about it. That's exactly how I think about it. I don't know anything. I haven't seen her credit report. I don't care what she looks like. What's on her credit? Is she owned? If she's owned, who cares what she looks like? That's exactly this is what goes through my mind. Not saying that if I look at her and say, "Wow, she got a nice ass, she got a nice butt." I could still think that, but it's different. If I know, man, I'm telling you, you young men, you guys don't even know the power in that because it's something that you're not faking. So of course the opposite sex is going to pick up on it because they're going to pick up on that kind of energy because that kind of energy is rarely found. Rarely. It's like, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Like I said, uh my girlfriend's family came in and she has sisters. Okay. And what's crazy is that you could tell, like they were just this is their first time meeting me, okay? And then, I've been dating her for a few years now, but this is the first time me meeting her family. You can tell, first they're examining and looking at me, right? But as women, you could tell if they're i- as a man, if I'm looking at them in a inappropriate way. Is this dude gonna start looking at me up and down behind my sister? It's not. This is something that's not said. You could just tell that they're looking for that. And if you're one of those dudes that do that, that's you. They're gonna instantly see it that you do it. And then that means, oh yeah, he's no good for my sister. If he's trying to flirt with me, But with me, there's none of that. I never in a million years would I do that, ever. I would never do that. I already know this in my mind, so that's the exact energy that I give off when I meet them. Hey, how you doing? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm LJ, bloggity, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Know why? Because like I said, never in a million years would I ever do that to the person I'm with today. I would never do that. That is so disrespectful. No, no way, no how, no. That would say more about me than anything else. This is the energy that you will have by owning yourself. And once you put it this way, once you own yourself and you really understand what that means, you will know immediately that you're different than millions of people, millions. And then once you realize capitalism is worldwide, and then you'll know that that makes you different than billions, billions with a B, because capitalism is worldwide. Because if capitalism exists, so does psychological capitalism. They go hand in hand. One doesn't work without the other. You need them both. One you guys can see, and the one you can't see. And see how I hope you're listening to me. It doesn't matter if you believe me or not. I'm just telling you something that's a mathematical fact, okay? Don't ever forget that part. When you listen to me speak, always remember the only thing I speak are mathematical facts that I can prove. How many people in the world do you think can do that? Huh? How many people in the world you think can do that? You better believe it. You better believe it. Man, I could have possibly with sex cut my time here on earth short because of myself, because of my dick. Oh my God, man, I'm telling you, I don't know how to explain that. I really don't know how to explain this to you. I can't believe I would ever risk that. I can't believe I'm not going to be here forever. Those things you never forget anymore. You're like, damn, whoo, pedal to the metal, pedal to the metal. Oh, okay. Job is not gonna get me to own the time of my life. Sure ain't. You better get on it. I can't believe that, man. I can't believe that. Because when I was in debt matrix, I gambled many times, many. I wasn't just carefree. I was picky. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't just well willy-nilly like the average dude. Nah, man. I was still picky, okay? But still, I still was just gambled a couple times, a few times in and there. I did. I just think if the new me today, hey, you know you could die if you do that, right? Is it you want it that bad? Listen, I wish I could be the new me coming to the old me. Hey, you want that pussy that bad that you that you're willing to die for it? Really? And I would turn to myself and say, that's a problem. Don't you think that's a problem? I would grab myself by the shirt collar and say, hey man, don't you think that's a problem? Don't you see that? You're willing to die for it. That's a problem. They always say that if you listen closely, it's the I'm telling you, I'm a prime example. I'm telling you right now, youngsters. You know how they always say that voice inside of you is the future you talking to you, trying to talk to you. I'm telling you, it's true. I'm living proof that it's true. I now understand that capitalism is psychological. You better believe it was the future me talking to me. Because there was a few times I came, hey man, you gonna do that without a condom? You gonna do that? You don't know her. She don't even know you. Think about it. If she's willing to do it and you willing to do it, you guys both been doing it. Because I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you. I'm not saying once you own yourself, you won't have sex with people with women that don't own themselves. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that you will never, ever, ever, ever forget protection, ever. And if she says something like, "Hey, latex bothers me," or "That doesn't feel good," you say, you know what you'll say? "Okay, see you later." You wouldn't care how hard you were. You'd be like, "Nah, I ain't doing that." Why? Because I could die? That's good enough for me. That is good enough for me. It'll no longer control you, young dudes. I'm telling you, this goes for women too. Don't get me wrong. It's not. Hey, man, you guys better drop that man woman shit. I'm telling you, you guys better drop it. You're wasting time. You are wasting time. Everybody is human, okay? A human being. That's all you need to worry about right now until you own yourself. You need to hurry up and get to owning yourself, okay? Don't worry about that other shit. You're slowing yourself down. Most of these, I'm telling you, most of these relationship guru people, man, they are steering you the wrong way. All you need to do is turn to them and say, "Hey, do you own yourself? Yeah, prove it with your credit report. Prove it." Other than if they're not, listen, if they're in debt, they are giving you relationship advice from a debt perspective, but you don't know that. Right? I'm here to share something with you. You are getting your information from a person that does not own themselves, which means they're in debt, and they can only give it to you from a debt perspective. You turn to them and say, "Hey, have you ever owned yourself?" If they turn to you and say, "What does that mean?" They just gave you the answer. They just gave you, if they turn to you and say, "What does that mean?" They gave you the answer, because if you ask me that, I'd say, "Hell yeah, I own myself." You better believe it, and I could prove it. You're probably thinking, "How couldn't you prove it, LJ? I could prove it with my credit report. There's no businesses on there. They don't own me. That's my proof." And that's for all you listening. That's my proof. I guarantee you. Listen, I want you to listen to me closely, okay? I guarantee you, you will never ever see that on any social media platform that's built today. You won't even see it ever. Go try to find another person my age with a credit report that looks like mine. You won't. That's my proof to you. That is my proof to you. Remember, everything I state are mathematical facts. Never forget that, ever. I am fully aware that time is the most valuable thing on earth. I am fully conscious of that, and I never forget that, ever. Every day is the present moment. The future does the future is created in the present. If you're always thinking about the future, that means you're not in the present. Do you understand? Let me give you an example, okay? If you think you're a homeowner with a mortgage, open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, meaning what you have left to owe on the house, and hit equal. Now, think, I want you to think about something. By looking at that number and you believing you're a homeowner, by looking at that number, do you believe you're living in the future, or do you believe you're living in the present? Because if you believe you're a homeowner, when you clearly see a large negative number on your calculator, you are obviously living in the future, because you're not living in the present, because that negative number says you don't own nothing. You believe you're gonna the reason why you're living in the future because you believe in 30 years you'll own a house. That means you're living in the future. The negative number that you see on your calculator says you're not living in the present. Same thing goes for your 401ks, your retirement accounts, all of that. All of that. That's called business because you are living in the future. You go finance a car for 72 months, you believe in your mind that you're going to own it in the future. See? See how it works? That's called business. Nothing's wrong with it. It doesn't matter. I'm just telling you something and I'm just sharing something with you. It doesn't matter if you how you feel about it, what you think about it. It doesn't matter. I'm just jumping in the convo, but I think it's easier for you to speak based on your experience and mistakes. Sadly, a lot of people have to learn the hard way, no matter how much how much you share. Well, you know, honestly, I'm telling you, I could speed that mistake, and I could speed all that up for you. I could help you make less mistakes. I mean, far less. I promise you, far less mistakes. Because people always say that too. They always say, "Hey, everybody has to experience their own mistakes." That is true. Okay, that is 100% true. But they don't really tell you that they don't know that you could limit those types of things. You can limit those if you own yourself first. I promise you, your mistakes and relationship mistakes and problems, they will be drastically reduced, drastically. There will be far few mistakes that you have to make to get to where you need to get to understand something because that's what they're there for. They are there. Those things are there to teach you, but there's time limits. You choose the time of how long you want to keep relearning that lesson. You get to choose the time frame. You don't have to be in there 10 years. You could learn that lesson in a year. Did you know that? Or 5 months or 6 months or whatever. It doesn't but you choose that. It's a choice. Because they always say this people had enough when they have enough suffering and then they just change it, right? But when you own yourself, you will okay, you will not first of all, when you own yourself, you'll know how rare you are, okay? So that means the chances of you finding a woman that also owns herself and understands, listen, it's twice twofold, owns herself, knows time is the most valuable thing on earth, and for surely understands that capitalism is psychological. When you find her, you will know how rare that is. You will know immediately. There is no way that you're going to find that woman and then you're going to go out and fuck around on her. I promise you, you will never do that. You won't, especially with a woman that doesn't own herself. You will never do that in a million years. A million. I promise you that. Now, you probably thinking to yourself, well, man, that'd be impossible. I will never find it. No, because it's a different language. Okay. When you understand capitalism is psychological, you speak a different language. Okay. And if she's also understands the same things you understand, she will hear you speak that language and will also know that it's rare. Because this language you got to remember, this language can be spoken out in the open, but debt slaves don't know because they don't own themselves. So they don't know what it means, what we're talking about. They have no clue, nothing. Like if I said like this, if I said to a crowd, hey, mortgages don't buy houses. You know how many confused looks I would get in the audience? They would just be staring at me like, what are you talking about? What do you millions of people do that? Yeah, I know that, but mortgages doesn't change the fact that mortgages don't buy houses. Who cares if millions of people are doing it? Well, everybody does that. And then they would just go on and on and on and on. They can't hear me when I say that. They cannot hear me. Here's another one. I'll give you another one. You can't save for retirement while having a mortgage. You can't do that. Everybody would look at me and say, "Yes, I do. I do it every year. I contribute and I get a match," and then they will just go on and on, start running the program again. They have no idea what they're talking about. They can't hear me. Even though, listen, so you guys understand what it means to know this. Even though I can mathematically prove what I'm saying, they still won't believe it because they can't hear it. And listen, you will also accept that is how it must be. Okay. I don't care if they can't hear it. That's okay. But those people are choosing to do, they're choosing not to hear by not trusting the calculator. So it takes your feelings out of it. So you don't really care. When you first own yourself, you're gonna be you're gonna be so excited to share it with your family and your friends. Hey, check this out. If you do this, they're not gonna hear you. That's gonna be your first that's gonna be your first inclination of, hey, well, why are they mad at me? Because they can't hear you. That's why they're mad at you. Then they're gonna stop being your friends and then your family, and then you're gonna just be quiet and don't talk to them about that because they can't hear you. We say, LJ, most men ain't gonna pass up new booty. Exactly. They're not. And that's expected because it's just the way it is. That's just, hey, that's just what dudes do. But when you own yourself, I'm telling you, young man, I'm telling you, you give off a different kind of energy and you're not trying to do it. It's just the way you are. Hey, time is the most valuable thing on earth. Yep. Yeah, my dick don't control me. Sure don't. No, it doesn't. I control it, not vice versa. There is no way if I'm with my woman and now some new booty come walking in front of me and I'm willing to risk my whole relationship over some new booty. No, I'm not doing any of that. Not even close. I don't even listen. I make sure because I'm not blind. Okay. I'm not blind and I'm not an ugly dude. I know when a woman's trying to flirt with me. I just don't make that. As soon as I see it happening, I disconnect. I look away. Disconnect that shit right away. Disconnect it. I don't even want you thinking that. I don't even want you thinking that's a possibility. And if I don't look at you and I know what you're trying to do, if I don't look at you anymore, you're going to know that that's not happening. Especially, listen, especially if you see me standing with her, I'm not connecting with a person like that. Are you crazy? That's why they always say, "Hey, you attract your energy." That's exactly what you're attracting when you do that. You're attracting like-minded energy because, like I said earlier, if a woman's flirting with me, she's standing with her man, and then she's trying to flirt with me. No, nope, not over here. You think I want that in my life? And she's clearly doing it to him. And so because the new dude always thinks he's somehow different than the current dude. No, you're just looking at yourself. When you see a woman flirt with you, she's standing there with her man and she's looking at you. Just pretend you're the other dude because it's in a circle. You guys are all joined. That might that's that dude that you see that he doesn't know what his woman's doing. That's you. So when it happens to you, are you really shocked if it happens to you? Because that's how you found her. But when that tries to happen to a person that owns themselves and doesn't allow that type of energy in your life, that shit is disconnected immediately. In my mind, this is how I think. In my mind, I don't even want the other woman thinking that that could have been a possibility. I don't even want her to walk away and don't even know me. It's just a thing in my mind that I do. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, you clearly see me standing with my woman. You clearly see that. I look forward to seeing you live. Totally, totally see it. This is definitely different language being spoken here. I have no doubt about that. Yeah, no doubt. So crazy. I am just honestly, I'm getting impatient. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting impatient. Because I know for a fact I know something that billions of people don't know. And let me tell you something, and it's beautiful. I ain't gonna lie, it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely, it's absolutely beautiful. To the design, my hat's off to the designers. My hat is off, and 100% respect. And you know how you pay respect to psychological capitalism? You know how you do it? You pay your taxes properly. That pays respect. Once you understand how it works, that's how you pay respects to the system. You pay all your taxes properly. That's how you do it. You know, when let me give you an example. When you pay your taxes properly, and you know it in your mind that you're doing it, okay, because there's no other way. I mean, it's mathematical. Everything's mathematical, and you do it properly, right? And then somebody comes along and tries to do some kind of tax fraud, something with taxes, and IRS is gonna put you in jail. That shit's laughable. Why is it laughable? Because you know for a fact that you did your taxes properly. So of course that's a scam. Of course. Listen, okay, this is the best way I can tell you, okay? Financial scammers scam debt slaves. Do you understand me? They cannot scam people that understand capitalism is psychological. Financial scammers cannot do that. Okay, I promise you that. There is no financial scammer in the world that can do that. I promise you. Especially, listen, because you got to remember, financial scammers practice on themselves first. They always practice. They don't just right. You think they're just born and then, hey, I'm gonna be a financial scammer. No, that comes into it. Something leads them up to scamming people. Okay, it just doesn't. Hey, I'm gonna just do it right out the gate. Something leads them up to start scamming people, and they usually start with themselves. And it's very obvious because they don't speak the language. They don't understand, and that 9 times out of 10, they don't own themselves. And their credit report will reflect this. I promise you that. Okay. Once you look at the credit report, it's like, oh yeah, you clearly don't understand capitalism is psychological. But that's also can be spoken by the scam language. It's for you guys that slaves. That doesn't happen in your life anymore. You would never get in a relationship or marry a person that doesn't own themselves. You just won't. Like if you're in a relationship now, okay, so like you're in a relationship now, and your partner, you just have no idea what they do with the money. Hey, this bill's not getting paid and partly paid, and it's in somebody else's name. I can't put the cable bill. Those are all red flags. You won't get involved with people like that. But it doesn't listen, it doesn't even get that far. That's what I'm trying to tell you, especially as a young woman or man, it really doesn't matter. That it will never get that far because they don't speak the language and you will hear them speak debt. And as soon as you hear them speak debt, that's it. You know, when you hear let me give you an example. When you hear a person called student loan or forever loan, those are debt slaves. Immediately. They're telling you that they have student loans and they don't ever plan on paying them off. If you ever hear them say a student loan is a forever loan, they are saying that they don't plan on ever paying off their student loan. You will never be serious with a person like that ever. Get married, get a house, because you'll know you can't buy a house with student loan debt. You can't buy a car. You can't invest. You can't put money away for retirement. You can't save money in a bank account. If you have student loan debt, you can't do none of that. When you're in debt, you are the currency. When you understand capitalism is psychological, you'll understand that people in debt are the currency, the physical currency that you see, the cryptocurrency that you see. It's all imaginary. They have no idea it exists. No clue, not a clue. It doesn't matter. It's okay. It doesn't matter. You think you're gonna legally or biologically tie yourself to a person like that? In other words, locking you into partly into the debt matrix? That won't happen. Cause ain't nothing worse than I remember being in the debt matrix, man, and going through stuff with my kids' moms, and I was like, when you gotta list your whole entire financial life on a piece of paper, let the lawyer see it, then let the judge see it, it just feels so intrusive. And then they say, "Okay, this is how we're gonna divide your money up." It's horrible. But I put myself there. It's not the judge's fault. It's not my lawyer's fault. It's my fault. That all of that was my fault. The system is there for people just, hey, you're just not taking care of your business properly. So we're gonna help you and we're gonna charge you for it. That's all. That's business. If you just go out, especially as a young man, if you just go out there and start having kids all willy-nilly, I guess you're gonna be part of the system. That's what the system is there for. People like you. People that don't think, bringing human beings in life, not really thinking how they're gonna get paid for, what's gonna happen. That's why that system is there. That cannot happen. That cannot happen. Sometimes I got a couple friends now, uh, you know, uh, we had kids, we all had kids when we was young, and then all of a sudden they have kids later on in life at this age. Are you insane? When I see that happen and still have the same debt, listen, still have the same debt they've had all their life, and then bring in and then have more kids later in life. That's it. That's a lock done deal. Like if I wasn't with somebody right now and I was dating and I came across a woman that's close to my age, 50s, late 40s, 50s, early 50s, and she has a let's say a 5-year-old and she's deep in debt and student loan debt and has had student loan debt and she got grown children and she's had student loan debt since her first set of children. No, no. That right there pretty much says, yeah, you're pretty much locked in with debt for the rest of your life. Because 50s is like the latest. That is the absolute, to me, in my mind, in my experience, age 50 is the absolute deadline for you to wake up. 50. That's pushing it too. That's really pushing it. Because I remember in my mid 40s, started in my early 40s, but when I got to mid 40s, something inside of me was like, man, something just ain't right. I don't know. I could not explain that. I was like, man, I got a good job. I had a nice car. I live in a nice place. But something was, I would just not, I would walk into my fancy place and I'd be looking around at all the fancy shit in it. And then I'd be like, something still ain't right. And you know what it was? I owned none of it. That's what was, nobody could tell me that though. Hell, I didn't even know the question to ask. I'd bring women over, they'd be so impressed. "Oh, we like, oh, this is your building? Oh, it's a secure entrance, private gate, and all this other stupid nonsense." And then you go up the elevator to the nice place. "Whoa, this is all yours?" "Yeah, this is me." But I didn't own shit. Nothing. That was the problem. Oh, man. I couldn't even imagine just that, it could be the nicest person, dedicated, whatever, but she's deep in debt. Oh man, no. At this age, yeah, you would have to at this age, you would have to figure out how to build a successful, not saying that this is not the best time to do it, okay? But you would have to start thinking about building a successful business right now. That's the only way that's gonna get you out of it. A job at this age, a job is not gonna do it. That's not gonna be good enough. Especially if you're in your 50s and you got 100,000, $150,000 in student loan debt, yeah, you better think of a very successful business right now. That's the only way you getting out of that. For real. That's straight up, man. Ain't nobody, hey, other than this channel, ain't nobody else gonna tell you that. your dating life as a man, as a man or woman, it really don't matter. That's why I just put sex. It just y- y- you are in control of it. That's the best way. I'm not saying that it's going to stop. I'm not going to say you're no longer going to enjoy sex. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that you will be in full control of it. It will never consume it. It will never consume your brain enough to ever forget that by having unprotected sex could cut your time here short on earth. You will never forget that. I don't care what they say, what they look like. You will never, ever forget that. Therefore, you will stop putting yourself in uncompromising positions. Say like there's a guys trip coming up, right? There's a guys trip coming up. And but you're aware. You're clearly aware, time, family, everything is and you go on a guys trip, you will never allow yourself to be put in uncomfortable situations. Hey, we're all going here. I'm not. That's what you would say. Oh man, we're gonna hit this part, go to this whatever blah bitty blah, and you know it's gonna be problems there. You say, I'm not going. Why not? Because I don't want to put myself in that situation. That's why. Oh, I'm good. You won't be like, no, man, I'm good. I love him. No, I won't even go. Saves all that time. Just unnecessary, just accidents, pictures, video, drinking, none of that. You just, hey, did L go in there? Nope, he didn't even go. He stayed at the hotel room. Hey man, you a pussy, whatever. Hey, I don't care what you say. Those are names. We stopped that shit in grade school, calling people names and you ain't this and that. Hey man, that don't hurt me. Sticks and stones, baby. Sticks and stones. You'll always be honest. I'm married. That's why I'm not going. What are you talking about? You know I'm married. That's what you would say. Yeah, it would be no misunderstandings. Because you can still go on the guys trip and enjoy. You can look and you be like, wow, because you're gonna see beautiful women, but that's about it. There will never ever be a video that's gonna pop up from you from the guys trip, a text message or a couple of pictures of that you gotta explain. Nope, you won't be in any of them except you be on the beach hanging out with the boys, doing whatever you're doing, dinner, whatever. But other than that, no other stuff. Nothing wrong with saying you're not going. You do not have to be with the crowd. No, you won't. And this is the wonderful good thing about that. By you controlling sex, you won't be with the crowd. You won't really care what the crowd does. But you'll read the crowd, what the crowd is going to do. And after a while, if you know, say it like this, say like you was with okay, you did this every year, man or woman, it really doesn't matter, but I'm just giving you a man experience. You get a guys trip goes out, they start, messing with women, come back home. Hey, yeah, we had a good time, but knowing you was messing around. And then one year you wake up, you go on the guys trip, they'll immediately know that you're different because you won't be doing the things that you used to do. You won't be doing that. And then sure enough, if they're still doing years to come, like year after year, they're still doing the same thing, you know what you're gonna say? I'm not going because I know what it's about. And and a person, this is very hard to grasp, especially as a young person. But once you experience this, once you own yourself, and say like you do get in a relationship with somebody, okay, and you think, hey, I can help them, I can help them understand the capital because that might happen too, right? You might fall in love and say, hey, they got potential. I can help, but those are the mistakes you got to go through to experience how the power of capitalist, psychological capitalism. You have to experience. That's one of those mistakes. But one thing you would do for sure, okay, you would straight up tell that person, hey, listen, I need you to understand this, okay? And this is what you would do. You would say it just like this. If you mess around on me, physically, text messaging, everybody knows the inappropriate stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, people think it has to be physical. It doesn't. But you would be very clear. You would say, hey, if I catch that, and you do that on me, the relationship's over. It doesn't matter if it's 1 year from now, 2 years, 5 years. If we had a child together, I'm telling you, it's over. I want you to clearly understand that. And you would pause everything around, because they will have had no one ever start a relationship out like that by stopping and saying, "Hey, I want you to clearly understand this. It won't matter how much I love you. If you do it, I immediately know that you're not for me, because I can't do it to you. If I'm with you and I'm only with you, I can't mess around on you. So, but if you do and I catch you, it's over, because you just told me you're not for me by doing that." That's what you would say to them. Now, whether they believe you or not, that has nothing to do with you anymore. You just long as you told them. Because some people do that. Some people will get with somebody and make them fall in love, and then they know, "Hey, I love you. I don't want to leave you." And then they know they ain't going nowhere, and then they start fucking around, abusing it. Start abusing it. And then when you're in love, what you don't understand, once you own yourself, this kind of stuff won't happen like this. But you start it's so crazy, because you'll look at something, clearly see what it is, but you'll second guess yourself about it because of your emotions being involved. That's why the majority of people like, gossip shit, people fucking around stars, because because it's easy to see when you're not in it. You're always quick to tell everybody oh, I wouldn't tolerate that. I'd be out of that so fast. No, it's easy to say when you're looking at it. No, because no emotions are involved. That's why you're able to to say logical things. Hey, if he fucks around, just leave his ass and do it, because you have no feelings involved in it. So you can only think logically. You can only think that. But when it's you have your emotions involved, which clouds stuff. Hey, well, maybe he really stayed the night over there to help her because she was an old friend. You start questioning yourself. You're like, no, that's not normal. That is absolutely not normal. Of course not. That is not true. Why? Because I wouldn't do that. Because that's how you got to look at it. If you have a partner that gives you one of those excuses, you got to stop them talking, and then say to yourself, would I do that? Would I respond like that? Would I you gotta No, I wouldn't do that. That should tell you something. That's because that's not right. If it doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. But when you own yourself, you always trust yourself. If you see that, it's over. Now, I know logically I can't immediately get out the house, immediately change jobs, immediately change stuff out of my name. I know that doesn't happen immediately. It all starts mentally. As soon as it happens, the relationship's over, and then the process of all the other stuff starts to fall in place. I always say this, like, I think I think with my brain and not my heart, I'm a full grown woman. See, and that's a logical woman, right? And when you understand what that means, you will naturally understand if you're speaking to a logical man. I promise you that. There's no mistaking of that. But it's very rare. I ain't gonna lie, man. You guys, I mean, I'm getting impatient. I ain't gonna lie. I am. It's crazy how just to see it, what you guys go by, how many subscribers a person has, how when you see that, when you own yourself and then you turn around and look at that, you're like, "Whoa, that's how I judge the person?" You sure did, by subscribers. When all you gotta do is say, "Hey, can I see your personal credit report?" They're gonna say, "Why?" "Because I wanna see if you own yourself." Because anything that comes out of your mouth has to be from a debt perspective. You won't allow any of that. Go hire somebody for, hey, how should I invest? Okay, you should do this. And then you turn to them and say, but you know what? I got $100,000 in student loan. But then they go ahead and continue to suggest that you should invest in this and that stock and this. Hey, that means you're getting advice from a debt perspective, because you can't do that. And you got to say to yourself, and I'm paying for that? Yes, you are. You're paying for it. Why? Because you see that piece of paper where they went to a particular college, and you think that bullshit means something. It don't mean nothing. Their degrees, that, when you go to these finance people, their degrees don't mean anything. All you gotta do is say, "Hey, can I see your personal credit report?" Yeah, you're a finance person, right? Yeah, I need to most definitely see if you own yourself. That's very important. And if they say, "What does that mean?" You're fired. As soon as they tell you, "What does that mean?" You turn to them and say, "You are fired." They're gonna say, "Why?" Don't worry about it. You're fired. You trying to make me pay you money to give me advice from your debt perspective? They show you their financial portfolio, and you look at everything in it, and it's all bank owned. You're like, wait a minute, this is your financial portfolio? Yeah. Why is the bank's name on every on every item in this folder? Why is the bank's name on it? Oh yeah. Then they start explaining, that's, yeah, because I got equity in this and that. And then they said, okay, never mind, I don't need your services. No, thank you. Because if you look at their financial portfolio and the bank's name is on every item in there, guess what? They're part of the bank's financial portfolio. They just don't know it. They don't know they are. I was talking to a CPA about some stuff I heard on a YouTube channel, and when I tell you the video was full of bad info, that's not even half of it. Yet the channel has 600 plus subscribers, 600,000 plus subscribers. Exactly. And you know what's up with, what's crazy, Django Geek? It must be that way. That's the crazy part about it. It must be that way, and I accept it. I accept it that way. Because without it, psychological capitalism cannot exist. They must believe they can invest with no money and student loan debt and flip it and flop it and whatever they believe. It really doesn't matter. But it must be that way. I do it. I accept that. That's part. That's part of the acceptance. That part I had to get. I had. So crazy. I had to get used to that. It helps you stop saying, "Hey, they're so stupid. They financed that car for 72 months." Once you start accepting it, which you have to anyway, it really doesn't matter. So you might as well start working on it. Uh, Once you accept that, you'll stop saying things like, "Oh, how come they don't know? Uh, uh, how come they don't know they don't really own the house?" You'll just stop saying that stuff and say, "Okay, that's how it has to be." And this is obvious. There's trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt. That's obvious. It has to be that way. That's obvious. 99% of that trillions of dollars, 99% of the people that's involved in it, they all believe they're homeowners. They all believe they own property. Whatever they believe, it doesn't really matter, but they have to believe that. It must be that way. That and coming into acceptance of that, that's all part of owning yourself. Oh, my social security number is my personal EIN number for doing business in the United States of America. It sure is. Yes, it is. That's your social security number. That's your personal EIN to participate in business inside of the United States of America. The business of you. That's for you. Because if you put it this way, if you treat your personal EIN number, the business of you, your social security number, like pure dog shit, you think you're gonna treat an EIN number for a business better than the one of yourself? You're not. I promise you that you're not. One look at your credit report will tell me that. Oh yeah, I see how you treat yourself. I'm not going into business with you. Are you crazy? You guys don't know credit scores don't mean nothing. They don't mean anything. You see, Just because you see somebody with a low credit score, you think, oh yeah, they ain't got bad credit. You don't know that there's some people that don't care about credit. So who cares what it is? Everything in the form of debt perspective. SMD is rare. SMD is rare. LJ rare. These words that you are speaking is not the norm, although it should be. Like you said, it's business, and it must be that way. It must be that way. I understand. I understand. I clearly understand that the people are involved. The economy could not exist without people. The majority must not understand. That there must be a few that do understand. I clearly understand that. It has to have both. I am here to help with the few that we need. That's all. I'm not doing anything really special, really. It's just, hey, come over here. We need some more people that really understand how it works because that's how it works. Don't be impatient. We are here and are listening. You are changing minds one person at a time. Oh yeah, that's just me speaking words out loud. That's just the ego speaking. That's all. That's ego speaking because I didn't know. Put it this way, I didn't know I was going to understand that capitalism was psychological in 2000 whatever, right? But what if I knew, like, hey man, yeah, in a few years I'm gonna know capitalism is psychological. I can't wait. So I understand what's going it's going to happen in the process it's supposed to happen. So I'm clear that that's more ego thing. It's still throwing me off sometimes though, not going to lie, like wow, the majority of people on earth believe in things that aren't true and it must be that way. It will throw you off. It will. It still throws me off, and you guys, I started this. When you guys are going through your process, I want you guys to clearly understand that how lucky you are to have me to help guide you a little bit faster. Because when I was going through it, I didn't have nobody. First of all, I didn't know what to ask of anybody. I don't know what question to ask of something I don't know about. You can't ask the question. Hey, man, you know what? I'm not getting wealthy. Is there something I don't know? That just doesn't happen. Okay, it doesn't happen that way, right? Now, at least you guys, when you guys are going through your things, you're like, yeah, LJ told me about that. He said he was going to do that. You guys got a place to go. And if I'm saying that I'm still getting adjusted to really accepting what is, that'll help you like, okay, all right, okay, I get it. Okay. And it'll help you along your journey understanding that that's all part of the process, right? Hey, Biden, the Biden administration forgives $6 billion of student loan debt, and they always just leave the title if there's $6 billion of student loan debt. And to a debt slave, you gotta remember debt slaves have no money, none, zero. So 6 billion is a lot of money to them, and they all crossing their fingers and hoping it's them. Now they think, "Ooh, Biden just six." Hey, it's all part of the plan, baby. All part of the plan. Then you read the deeper the story. Oh, Corinthian colleges. What's that mean? Oh, they did fraud. Oh, the colleges did fraud. Of course, that student loan debt's going to forgive, and they did fraud. But you guys love it because you know why? You wasn't going to pay it anyway. Like I always say, if they were smart and they wanted to boost up the economy, they would have Biden knock off $10,000 for everybody's student loan debt, and then pay you guys in cash or with a check or something. Let you, and then say, "Hey, here's the money. You guys pay it yourself." 99% of you guys wouldn't, and that money would flow right into the economy. Right into the economy. That's just like a win-win. Still gets They still get paid on the student loan debt, look good for forgiving some of it, and at the same time flow a whole bunch of money to the economy. Wouldn't that be beautiful? That's like a triple win. Cryptocurrency would go through the roof. That's horrible because that's what you guys would do. That's exactly what you guys would. I remember I remember this. This was a good one too. I ain't gonna lie. These These student loan debt people, man, they are good. Okay, they are good. I remember when I had my student loan debt and I started thinking about, hey man, I want to pay this student loan debt off. Okay. Now they do one physical and one psychological with this, right? So what I did in my mind, which is a logical response. So say like my student loan debt payment every month is $300. And I thought in my mind, I said, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay my student loan debt off faster. So I'm gonna pay $500. So I say to myself, 300 go to the regular thing and 200 goes to pay off the principal faster, right? And so, but still at the same time, I never wanted to open my student loan thing. So, because I never wanted to see the balance, like it was going to go away if I don't look at it. So that's all the psychological part. And I said to myself, okay, cool. I'm sorry paying 200. But then when I would get my statements, the statement would say, you don't have to make a payment until the month after next. And I was like, huh, that's weird. Right? But I wasn't but I still in my mind, even though I was seeing that, I still in my mind, I thought the extra money was going to the principal. Okay. And I started looking, but I didn't want to change anything because I thought to myself, I said, what if I have a bad month or two and I keep being ahead? And then if I have a bad month or two, I could just stop paying. I can miss 2 months of payments without falling behind. That's all the psychological part, right? So till one day, about a year later, I finally got the nerve to open up my student loan, and I saw that the balance didn't change, even though I had been making extra payments for the over just a little over a year. I was like, what? How come the balance has not changed? So I finally called them up. I said, hey, I've been paying 200 extra dollars a month on my payments and I don't see my balance moving. She was like, "Oh, yeah, if you want that extra money to go to the principal, you gotta call us and tell us. If not, we're gonna put it towards interest." And that's why when the statements would come in, it was like, okay, each time I made an extra payment, the due date of the next payment kept getting further and further and further away. It just kept getting further away. Oh, now you don't have to pay it for 2 months. Now you don't have to pay it for 3 months. Now you don't have to pay. I was like, wow, that's why, because they was paying the extra payments towards interest. I had to call them and say, "Hey, I want you to put the extra on principal." I said to myself, this is what I said to myself, "I have to call you and tell you that?" That's what I said to myself. "Yes, sir, that's the policy I was like, "What?" That didn't make any sense to me. Now I understand why. I mean, now that I understand capitalism is psychological, now I understand why, right? But back then I was like, okay." And he says, "Okay, well, now that you called us and told us, sir, that's where we'll put it." I said, "Well, what about all the extra payments that I made beforehand?" They said, "Sorry, sir." I was like, "What? That money's gone?" "Yes, sir." I was like, I was like, "What?" All because I wouldn't look. Now, times that by millions of people that are scared to even look, they don't even know. Listen, millions of people don't even know their student loan balance. And that's another thing you can go out when you go out on a date and you find out the person you're dating has student loan debt. You say, "Do you know your balance?" If they tell you no, or you hear them guessing, that's a red flag. That's a ginormous red flag. Immediate. "Do you know your student loan balance?" I think it was. Well, I haven't checked. "Do you know who owns it?" "No, man. Last time, I mean, totally lost." Oh yeah, that's a problem. I'm looking forward to it. That's what I love about these videos. These videos are timeless. Okay, I want you guys to understand that. And this is 2022. I want you guys to understand this in 2032, 2042, 2052, 2062. When you hear these videos, you'll think I made them yesterday. Why will these videos always be valid? Because capitalism is here to stay. I promise you that. At least anybody that's listening to this video right now. Because the only thing that would ever change that would be a civil war. And good luck with that. I don't even want that. No, thank you. No, thank you. All I gotta do is just trust math? Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'm cool with that. You're gonna be like, "How did he know that? How could he?" They're gonna start comparing me to like Einstein or something. How did he predict the future like that? Wow, he said it. He said it would still be the same in from 20, 50 years from now. How did he? What kind of calculation? Just a calculator? You guys are going deep. You guys are going way too deep. Way too deep. Stop putting numbers across the screens and glowing in the dark and hexadecimal numbers and insane formulas. No, just a calculator and basic arithmetic. I'll be like, "Hey, why are you comparing me to Einstein? I'm just talking about the calculator. What are you talking about? You think you're smarter than Einstein? No, no, not at all. I'm just saying I trust the calculator. Why are you talking about him? That's what's confusing me. What's a recasting mortgage? I don't know what that is. Is that refinance mortgage? I'm watching my monthly mortgage statement closely. I have been paying basically double payment towards the principal. I'm waiting to see what nonsense the bank will try to pull over me. Well, first they're gonna, as soon as they see, you gotta remember what you're doing right now, you gotta automatically know that you're doing something different. When you're making double payments, right there sets you, you gotta remember they know what you're doing, okay? Because that's not normal. Okay, debt slaves don't do that. Debt slaves are barely making their normal monthly payments. They're not paying double. They're not. So they're like, oh, okay, this person knows because that immediately stands you out from millions of people right there. It's like, oh, okay, all right, this person obviously knows because they're making double payments. They must have figured out that your bank is probably saying, oh, she figured out she's not a homeowner. Oh shit. Okay, hey, check this out. Let's reach out to her and say, "Hey, home refinance rates are all at all-time low, and this, and she's not gonna fall for it because she's making double payments. You know that's not gonna work, John. She's making double payments. That's for regular debt slaves. She's gonna know what you're doing. What can we do? Nothing, nothing. But take her money and pay the thing off and get rid of it. She's rare. We ain't gonna. Hey, we ain't gonna lose money from one loss. You mean all the tricks that we use on the debt slaves? That won't work anymore, okay? She's making double payments. You think it's gonna work? Hey, and when you young people, you get on a date and you find somebody that they call themselves a homeowner in their 20s, you say, "Do you have a mortgage?" If they say yes, you understand they own nothing. It doesn't matter what they think or believe. Don't tie yourself to a person like that believes they're a homeowner with a mortgage. Okay, don't do that. You know, they always say the same thing. Hey, let's do that house hack. I'll get a townhouse, I'll move in one side, and then I'll put a renter in the other. They all say the same stupid nonsense. Dumb. It's so dumb. It is so and when you're young, you believe that. Yeah, yeah, that's a house hack. You know, that's how you do it. You live on one side and collect rent on the other, and then no, you're not. No, you're not. Okay. Don't do don't do it. Okay, don't do it. It's not a house hacking, you're just hacking your bank account. Everybody telling you to do that, you say, "Do you have a mortgage?" "Yeah." "Okay, yeah, I'm not listening to you no more." Yes, it does. Believe that. Exactly. They know you making double payments, they know that now. They're like, "Oh, shit, she's been talking to somebody." Somebody's been talking to her. "John, yeah, go ahead and scratch her off the list. There's no turning around on that." We've seen this not many times, you know, that probably happens once or twice a century, but it happens. You better believe there are very few people that understand capitalism is psychological, okay? So it probably happens once or twice a century. I'm just doing my part. Well, I'm telling you, once you become part of the SMD family. And it's up to you if you want to be, if, you come across this channel, you're like, hey man, I can do it myself. And then say like you do it yourself. But it takes you 5 years, 6 years. And then once you own yourself, you're gonna turn around and look and say, damn, LJ could have helped me do that shit in a year. Then you're gonna be mad at yourself. You're gonna be mad at yourself. I was already motivated. However, upon coming up on SMD, I am on fire. One day it won't sting when you say I'm not a homeowner. Yep, you already know it happens mentally first, right? Your mind is already there. Now all the physical stuff is catching up. You pretty much put it this way, you already are a homeowner mentally because you know what to do to get there now. So the physical part is happening. Yep, once or twice a century. Believe that. It's so beautiful, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's beautiful, man. It is absolutely it's humbling. It's it's like I ain't gonna lie, man. It's like having a financial superpower with invisibility. Like it's invisible. It's a different, even though it's English, it's a different language. It don't matter if you're a man, woman, black, white, Chinese, fat, short, gay, straight. It don't even matter. None of it matters. Republican, Democrat, whatever. Hey, whatever fancies your boat. It don't matter. As long as you understand capitalism is psychological, whatever. Older woman told me she sold her house she lived in for 7 years with a mortgage and moved in with her son and daughter-in-law. Wow, I told her she was never a homeowner. She got and she got mad at me. Yeah. When you know cupcakes, you should have said, "Oh wow," that's how you should have ended that. "Oh yeah, I just moved in, sold my house." Oh, that's how you respond. "Oh, okay, wow, how's that going? You guys get along?" You just roll right into it. You don't even say that stuff like that. You can't pull your mask down in public. Recasting when you pay a lump sum set by the bank, typically 10K at a time. Only then do they deduct from your principal while lowering your monthly mortgage bill going forward. You know what? I don't, when I get my house, I don't plan on involving the bank at all. That's my plan. I don't care what they have in their paperwork, what these words mean, and this and that. I don't want to deal with any of that. I'm just buying it. Debt slaves, they don't know that the bank doesn't have to be involved in their life. The bank being involved in their life is a choice. They don't know that. I mean, it's not a choice for them because they're debt slaves, but they don't really understand when you own yourself, it's a choice. And when you put it this way, when you understand capitalism is psychological, you involve the bank for tax purposes, for tax reasons. Because it doesn't really matter the difference. Because once you own yourself, you understand personal debt you pay back, business debt your customers pay back. So you're not really, when you understand how it works, you're not really losing money. You're making less money. You understand? You don't when you pay interest from business debt, you're not you're not really paying because your customers are paying it, but when it's interest involved, there's for tax. When you get a loan, it's for tax reason, not only the tax reason part, but you got to understand that you make less money. That's all when interest is involved. That's it. But when you own it, you make more money because you're not paying interest, but you get a loan. It's stuff like that. You'll understand once you understand capitalism is psychological. You understand the true purpose of business debt. Had to catch the end of the game. Good evening, SMD. What's up, Kang? Now, I want you guys to also understand that I do when I say, do I have any questions and stuff like that, and nobody comes up, I understand it's intimidating. I get it. I totally understand. I get it. You don't want to feel dumb. He's gonna talk about me. And I know it sounds like that. I know it does. It sounds like, hold on. I sound like this because I know I'm mathematically right. That's all. That's why my voice sounds the way it sounds. That's why it sounds intimidating. That may sound like an asshole or whatever. But all I'm saying to you is that it sounds like that because I know I'm mathematically correct. I really do this to help you guys because again, there must be people that understand that capitalism is psychological. Has to be because everybody dies. It don't matter. It don't matter if they're just because. Listen, just because I understand capitalism is psychological, I'm still human. I'm still gonna die. Psychological capitalism has nothing to do with that. So there must be people that understand it to keep it going. And with this knowledge, and you open up a business, you'll be one of the best business people in wherever you're doing it at. You'll be one of the best because the majority of business owners are in debt. They're in personal debt and they're in business debt. They're in both. They're not, listen, and this will be your advantage, okay? So you can clearly understand young people, okay? This will be your advantage. They're not going to run their business better than running the business of themselves because they're not emotionally involved. You see what they do with the business of themselves because with them being emotionally involved, they're going to do the same with their business because they know nothing else. So, with you having this knowledge, starting a business, you will automatically be better than them because you will know the difference. You'll understand, for example, you when you start your business, you understand that your money comes from your customers. So you must treat your customers with respect. Amazon is a prime example. That's why they're big as they are, because of their customer service. Chick-fil-A, that's all. Why do you think Chick-fil-A is just another fast food place? Why do you think the difference? Customer service. They understand where the money comes from. Most of you are like, man, how come Chick-fil-A is not open on Sundays? You know what that says to me? We're making so much money. We don't care if everybody else listen, we don't care if every single other person in the fast food industry works on Sundays. We are making so much money, we choose not to. Who cares if it's religious reasons? Who cares? I don't really care. I'm just telling you from a business perspective. We are making so much money, we can. This is how you'll run your business like a Chick-fil-A, a Apple, a Amazon. When you go to Amazon, listen, and this is what I mean. You go to Amazon and purchase something and you click, 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 and click buy. You're not even thinking twice about, are you going to get your package? Is this website, is the Amazon.com trustable? I don't know if I can trust this website. You're not even thinking about any of that. You click, 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 buy. Next thing you know, your product's at your door. That's how you're going to run your business. That's how you do it. Everybody else will have to will have to catch up with you. I know what you're talking about, LJ, but the debt slaves have no idea what you just said. I know they don't. That's why it's a superpower. They don't even hear me. I mean, I don't wish, but I can only imagine what I sound like to a debt slave. I can only imagine. What? What's he talking about? Mortgages don't buy houses. What the? Everybody around me is doing it. What is he talking about? What do you mean I can't? What do you what do you mean I can't contribute to my retirement while I have student loan debt? I've been doing it for years. That's how they talking. You think I'm gonna explain that to somebody? Oh hell no. You gotta have a strong mind. Say like you've had a house for you know 20 years and you've had your job for longer than that, and you've been contributing to your retirement plan the whole time while having a mortgage. You've been getting your statements. Hey, you got this much, and this is how much you're gonna have. All these pretty calculations and diagrams all this fancy paper they put on there. All of it's imaginary, all of it. And you wake up and realize that none of that is true. You gotta have a strong, very strong mind. Very. Make sure you don't throw yourself into a depression and I don't even know. I don't know. I'm telling you, that'd be very hard. You've been in the house 20 years, you refinanced it 3 or 4 times, and you've been contributing to your retirement plan the whole time you've been having a mortgage, and you wake up and you're like, "Holy moly. You mean I had no money to contribute to retirement?" Nope. Mm-mm. The whole time I was in this house, not at all. None, 0. Mm-mm. Where's all that money? Gone. What about this house? You don't own it. Never did. What happens to all those payments? To the bank. What do you mean? Who you been writing the checks to? Their money. They didn't do anything wrong. Well, hey, everybody out around me has been saying, "Hey, I'm a homeowner with a mortgage." Who cares what they say? Is it mathematically true? No. Then who cares what they're saying? They said I can put this much down and then I get this house and I'll have this much in equity. So what? Who cares what they're saying? So what? Equity's not real. They're the equity. The younger you know this, you want to get involved in none of that. Like when you're late 20s, like put it this way, you get to your mid to late 20s, you start thinking you're getting old. It's funny. It's bananas, right? You start thinking you get old. You think you're supposed to have a house, and then you get with another young person that think the same way with you, and then you guys get together and finance a house. Oh my God! Then get on Facebook and social. Hey, look, we're homeowners. Look, we got the keys and all the program. The younger you understand that, you won't be involved in none of that, getting caught up on social media, taking pictures of your new house with a big paper key because you see that paper key you're holding? That's about the worth of you. That's the equity. You're holding that paper key you're holding, that's your equity in that house. That's how much it's worth, that big paper key. Yeah, sure is. And you're taking pictures and everybody's under your comments. Hey, congratulations, you guys deserve it. What, they deserve a paper key? That's that's so funny. The reason why I'm laughing because that was me. It's just so stupid. Oh my God, it's so stupid. I mean, it's business. I get it. I totally get it, right? So now when I'm on social media and I see that, I'd be like, oh man. I'd be, I'd be like, oh man, that's messed up. And you see all the comments underneath. Wow, I can't wait. Where you at? This and that. And this and that. Then they all ready to jump on the bandwagon. They all ready to jump in debt too. They're like, damn, you banks, you guys got this on lock. What's up, Nick? You guys, you guys got this on lock, man. Oh man, holding that big old paper key. Like, hey, look, we're homeowners. No, you're not. No, you're not. Nope, that's your equity. You can't walk up to a person as they're taking a picture. Hey, you know you're holding your equity in your hand right now. You and the kids, yeah, you guys are holding your equity. They gonna be like, what? We're holding the paper key. Yeah, that's your equity. They can be like, what you talking about? Because you can't buy a house with a mortgage. Okay, that's mathematically impossible. He said, I didn't even want to take a pic once I signed the papers. And it's so crazy when I think back at those moments when I was a debt slave. I remember signing all those papers, man, and I felt this knot in my stomach as I'm signing these papers, sign here, initial here, sign. I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted the house. They put the keys on the desk. They put the keys on the desk, and oh my God, it's horrible. It is horrible, right? And I felt this knot in my stomach. but it was just unexplainable. I just didn't know. And then when I got done signing the papers, and then all of a sudden another, I don't know if it was the bank or a subsidiary of the bank, it was like, hey, you got equity, man. You can you can get the rest of that equity and pay off. I said, oh hell yeah, I'll take that too. They were they were doing me, man. They were doing me. Ooh, they were doing me. Oh my goodness, man. Had me believing in equity and all that. I was like, whoa. What's equity? Oh, that's when the house goes appraises in value, and then the house you bought it at, you're like, oh yeah, I bought the house at 200 and it's worth 400. You didn't buy the house at no 100. You didn't buy the house at no 100 because you had no money. So whatever it's appreciating from 200 to 400, that's none of your business. Young people, don't you get caught up in that, man. Don't you get caught up in that house fever. They putting these houses up like stables. Clear 100 and clear about 50 acres and put 100 houses on it and then say, hey, you guys are all homeowners. And they're building these communities like hotcakes too, man. You guys, whoa, cheesy. They just be, man, that's just bad. It's horrible to watch, though. I ain't gonna lie, it's horrible. They're like, hey, man, these businesses, like right now, what I see right now, these businesses are struggling. They're like, hey, man, how we gonna mess with Amazon? How we gonna do it? Amazon is killing us. What are we gonna do to survive? Hey, tell you what, we'll make a deal with you know how they're building all these new housing communities? Yeah, let's make a deal with them that we're gonna build stores right next to the housing communities. Right next to the housing communities, and then we can offer like 30-minute delivery. Because if the stores, because that's what I'm seeing right now, the stores are being built right next to the house, they can offer delivery service in 30 minutes. Now, Amazon can't do nothing about that. They cannot do nothing about that. They still have to wait 2 or 3 days. But if these stores can get their product to them in 30 minutes, who do you think they're going to go to? Who do you think they're going to walk to? Because you got to remember, because the whole economy is changing. I know this is way off, but this is important. The whole economy has changed. The majority of people are going to be working from home. Where do you think they're going to go? Right there to their neighborhood stores. Because at first when I was seeing it, I saw a grocery store down here. I was like, "Oh, that's cool. They got that, damn, this." Because first, this is how it works. There was a grocery store put in the middle of a it looked like it was put in the middle of a field, right? And I was like, I thought to myself, "Why would they put a grocery store there? That's what nobody's around here. Why would they put it there?" Next thing you know, a whole community is built there, brand new. Then I thought about this other store, same thing. Aldi's. I don't know if many of you guys know about Aldi's. They built a Aldi's in the middle of a field. And I thought to myself, why would they build all these right here? Next thing you know, a community's right behind it. I was like, oh, got it. Got it. They're trying to mess with Amazon because again, food, they can deliver food, product. They're building whole like they're in this area over here, they're building like a strip mall area right next to a community. What do you think they're gonna go? Right there on their way home. They don't have to go far out of their way. They're gonna go right because think about it. People get off work, the ones that'll still be driving to work. They don't want to be in traffic. You think they're gonna stop at a store, at a grocery store that's far away, and then get back in traffic again when they can go to the grocery store right around the corner from their house, shop, and drive home with no traffic because they're right in the neighborhood. That is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. Exactly. They'll be working. Hey, 24-hour delivery service will be, you mark my words, 24-hour delivery service will one day be true. They're going to be delivering packages. Young people, I hope you guys are listening. Okay. If you don't want this to be you because it's happening. Okay. They're going to be delivering packages at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And then come up with something like, hey, we'll pay you hazard pay, something because you're working at night, no different than somebody working at a convenience store at night. They pay them extra pay because it's a little more dangerous. The same thing. And then you guys do it. And who do you think is going to be delivering packages at 3 o'clock in the morning? People in debt, student loan debt, mortgage payments, car payments, all that. All that. Exactly, Nick. Hey, what you do? I man, I deliver packages. What time? From 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It's like, are you crazy? That's coming. Because I remember one time I got a package as early as 6 a.m. and I got a package as late as 9 p.m. Okay, 9 p.m., 6 a.m., 9 p.m. You don't think 24-hour package delivery is coming? It's coming. You see all the CVSs and here's another thing, young people that want to go try to be a pharmacist or something right there. Hey, that career is not looking too good anymore. Those $100,000. Listen, those high pays of being a pharmacist, that's coming to an end. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. And if you're going to be a pharmacist now, and they're still charging you the same price to be a pharmacist to go to college, you're making a big mistake. All you gotta do is take a step. Hey, what? Why are all these Walgreens and CVS is closing down? Why do you think that is? Those places ran the land for years. They had a CVS or Walgreens on damn near on every corner. Now they're all closing down. Why do you think that is? Because they made the most of their money on what? Pharmaceuticals. Amazon drivers using their own cars now. Look at that. See that? I didn't even know that. Using their own cars. They're like, hey, you know how much money we can save if we copy Uber? If we copy Lyft? You know how much money we'll save on insurance and all this other stuff if they just use their own stuff? Yep, sure can. All right, let's do it. See, yeah, 9 p.m. delivery likewise. Yep, 9 p.m. Can you imagine dropping a package off 9 p.m. on some kind of daylight savings time when it's pitch black dark? It starts getting dark at 6, and you dropping off a package at 9. Mm. Nope. Say it like this. Say it like this. It's package delivery time. It said like it's 24 hours, and then Apple has a sale on their iPhones. Okay, and you a 24-hour delivery package delivery? Are you crazy? Hell no, none of that. No. Hey, I'm not working during Apple sales. That's what I would say. When I hear a new phone come out, the new Samsung, this and that. Hey, yeah, I'm not working those months. No, sir. Ain't doing that. No, no. Uh-uh. Nope. Because everything's delivery. So when Apple has sales, how do you think they're getting to people's houses? In the mail. No, no, sir. No. Ain't doing none of that. Not doing any of that. That's like that's like walking out of Apple with a big bag. with a big with a big Apple bag. Are you crazy? Are you bringing an armed guard? Hey, I need an armed guard to walk me to my car. I got this big ass Apple bag. If you come out of Apple with a big bag, your head better be on a swivel. Heck yeah. No different. Hey, listen, no different than Uber right now. They have late night. Hey man, you can no. Mm-mm. I ain't doing. I ain't doing none of that. No. I be watching some of these YouTube shows about Karen. They call them Karen Uber drivers or something. Just people just acting dumb in people's Uber cars. You first of all, you are using your own car, and these people will get in there and tear it up because they mad. Tear your shit up. Mm, mm, mm. No, sir. I ain't doing none of that. No. Tech jobs are the new factory workers. Yeah, yes, they are. You better believe that. I was in it. They got me. I ain't gonna lie. They got me. Because when you get into tech, another one for the young people. When you get into tech, you need that degree. Because I was in virtualization, right? And you're just like, "Ooh, wow, I'm so smart." You know, but you don't know when you get that six-figure salary. But now you make six figures, but you're $300,000 in debt. You make $100,000 a year, but you're 350. Well, let's go more than that. Let's say the house, cars, and you're about 500,000, $600,000 in debt. Guess what? They own you now because now you're so deep in debt, you can't quit that job. You can't quit a six-figure job. You can't because your whole world will change. Now the job owns you. Because now the majority of these new jobs, guess what they do? They ask to see your credit report. You know why? To see how much debt you're in. One look at your credit report, you're gonna be begging. They know if you're gonna be one of the people begging for overtime. Always if they hey, we'll pay for your phone. They know they can call you 24 hours a day, and you're gonna answer because you're deep in debt. You're gonna pick up that phone. Matter of fact, you're not gonna leave that phone by your side. Get your email across it. You're gonna be like, "Oh, I don't feel like carrying two phones. I'll just connect it with my personal phone." Exactly what they want you to do, so they can call you anytime they want, and you're gonna pick it up because you're in debt. Because you want to show the world that you're in IT and you make six figures. So you're gonna show the world by what? Financing a big house, nice car, Audi, whatever, some fast, stupid nonsense, and you're gonna be making payments at your job's mercy. Sure is. And then you're gonna do it as a young person. Hey, I'm fresh out of college. You're gonna be doing the same shit for the next 20 years in debt. Your debt can be leveraged by employers to keep you working forever. Sure is. You guys haven't noticed that? Employers are asking to see your credit report. You got I remember I remember when I first started experiencing that. I said to, I said to myself, I kid you not, I said to myself, why do they want to see my credit report? I'm not buying nothing. What they want to see if my credit's good? Okay. Because I had good credit, so I wasn't really worried about it. They don't care about your credit score. They want to see how much debt you're in. Your credit report will tell them if you can be in a financially sensitive area in the business or not. It will tell them that. If you own yourself, they know they can trust you to put you in a financial area of the business because they know 99% of the chance you're not going to steal from the business. You're not going to do embezzlement. You're not going to do that because you own yourself. But if they look at your credit, say like you have a degree in finance, right? And you're really good at what you do, and then they run your credit and they find out you got student loan debt, you're behind on taxes, you're not making your payments on time, and you're deep in debt, you got a mortgage, two car payments, and refund. They're not going to put you, no matter what, no matter how smart you are, you're not being placed in a particular area of the business that deals with the finances, at least sensitive areas. They're not gonna put you there. You're gonna be like, why'd they pick them over me? Because you're in debt. And that person with the same skills you got, but they have no debt, they're gonna get the job over you. And you're probably gonna think, oh, it's because they're my color of my skin. No, it's because you're in debt. The younger you understand this, the better. I promise you that. This knowledge, I'm telling you, with this knowledge, I'm telling you, sex won't control it won't control you. It just doesn't. Sex won't be making your decisions on how to have a relationship with somebody. Oh man, the sex is good with this person. I think I'm gonna start a relationship with that person. No, no, you're not. That won't happen. I promise. How do you feel about medical debt, even when people with good health insurance have it? When I worked in collections, that's a good question. Okay, now put it this way: if you got to remember, medical debt is bankruptable. Okay, never forget that. It doesn't matter how much medical debt it is bankruptable. Now, if somebody came to me with the large, they would say like they was trying to get out of debt, and they make $50,000 a year, and they have $400,000 in medical debt. You're never gonna pay that off. You're not. If I help a person come to a realization of that and help them understand that bankruptcy is a legal tool that you can use to clear that. You get that out of your mind. Bankruptcy's for losers. It's no good. That means you're bad with money. It means none of that. It is a legal tool that was placed there on purpose. We'd work on saying how the plan would be this. What must we do to be able to get that bankruptable? What are the steps we must do? And then we would take those steps. Because a person making $50,000 a year minus taxes is not going to pay $400,000 worth of medical debt off. They're not. I think in decades, centuries, subconscious tells you no, no, you're not. You are welcome. Because I think that's a good, because you might come across a person. I mean, especially a person with the SMD family, you might come across a person that's deep in debt, but you'll know if you talk to them and something clicks, you're like, okay, they understand, right? They know what it means, and then you see a gear kicks in on them. And what must I do to get out of this medical debt that I can't get? Okay. And then they do it. Okay. That's potential. Because it takes big balls to do that. Big balls to do what it takes to own yourself. You got to have some big balls. The first part, like I always say, to become a conscious debt slave is a privilege. That's a privilege. That means to become a conscious debt slave automatically means you are no longer an unconscious debt slave, which is the worst. It's to be an unconscious debt slave. That means you don't know you're one. And so to be a conscious debt slave, I want people that have become that. I want them to understand the significance of the meaning to be a conscious debt slave. That is huge, huge. Be proud to say it. Be proud to say that you're a conscious debt slave. You don't care who hears it. It doesn't matter. What's up, Waldemir? People should check their lover's liabilities. Marrying someone with huge debt is a hell also. Exactly. Don't let sex blind you. Exactly. It won't happen. Once you own yourself, that's an automatic. It's like for people to understand, like when you're especially, I really want you young people to understand you will automatically hear differently. Okay. Because you got to understand debt slaves believe car payments are normal. They believe financing phones are normal. They believe having multiple credit cards with multiple payments. You'll hear them brag on credit card limits, tell you how great of a deal they got on a finance car. You'll listen to it differently, but you got to understand they don't know what they're saying, but you do. They won't know what they're saying to a person that owns themselves. So because they believe it's normal. Financing phones every year, financing the latest and greatest phone every single year because they're caught up in the phone loop. It's like it's like this. Imagine this. This is what they're doing with phones. They do the same thing with cars. Debt slaves will finance a car and become upside down in the car, meaning they owe more on the car than what it's worth. They would go trade the car in with negative equity, because they have to do that, else people couldn't finance cars. If they didn't allow you to take negative equity and put it into a new car loan, the whole car loan industry would cease. It would cease to exist because you guys are deep. And then they keep refinancing, because I never understood. I was like, why would they allow you to finance, put negative equity into a new car loan? That makes no sense, right? But if they didn't do it, the car loans would cease to exist because you guys couldn't do it. But anyway, they catch you in that loop. They get you so buried in the loop. Now you have to finance cars every 2, 3, 4 years because you don't have the money to buy your way out. Now they're doing that with phones. Trade in your own phone and we'll give you $800 credit. Credit's not money. Credit is nothing. Credit is something that the business made up. Sort of like cryptocurrency. It's the same thing. You guys think it's money. And then they'll trap you in the phone loop, because in your mind, you guys always have to have the latest and greatest phone in order to get out. Now you got to buy your way out. And the only way you're going to be able to buy your way out of that, you have to buy a phone. And if you only like the latest and greatest phones and you have no money, guess what? You can't get the latest and greatest phone because you have no money to buy it. You're not going to do that because now phones are a status symbol. Oh, look at your phone. I hear it all the time. Oh, look at your phone. You need to upgrade. And you guys always say that. Always say that. You're not going to be caught dead with a 2-year-old iPhone. People are going to know. That's why they changed the lenses. So people will automatically know if you got an old iPhone or a new one. Absolutely brilliant. Congratulations, Apple, on doing that. Because they couldn't tell the model of the phone when you have a cover on it. But if you switch the lenses around, everybody automatically knows if you got an old one. Congratulations, Apple. Congratulations. And you guys are financing them. Now you're trapped in the phone loop. Can't get out. You can't afford Deslays. You guys can't afford a $1,500 phone. You'll never be able to do that. Older people I know have refinanced their homes to pay off medical debt to avoid bankruptcy. See what I'm saying? They have no idea what that means. Not a clue. Try to avoid bankruptcy. And it's a tool. They always think debt slaves don't know that if it's so bad, then why is it there? Because it's not bad. Chapter 7. But they made up chapter 13, and just my opinion, they made up chapter 13 bankruptcy for debt slaves that don't want to give up the stuff that got them into bankruptcy in the first place. That's why they allow you to keep your stuff and still make payments. Because you debt slaves don't want to let go of the stuff that got you there. Wow, they only let you do chapter 7 every like 10 years, 8 to 10 years. But chapter 13, you can do it as many times as you want. That's weird. I thought if bankruptcy is bankruptcy, why can I do it so many times here and I only can do it once every 8 years on that one? Because that's a sign. My older cousin complained about making payments on an electric car. Then a few days later, the electric car was gone and he was driving a new van off the lot. Wow. Wow. Amen on that upside down car loan. Cars are they're depreciating objects. They're not even depreciating assets. Cars are depreciating objects. And I swear to God, I never could make the connection why they would allow uh uh the extra money to get rolled into the negative equity of a car to get rolled into the new car line. I was like, why would they allow that? It makes no sense. Okay, I understand that they're making more money, but why would you do? Oh, because if they didn't, nobody could finance a car. The majority of people in car loans, they're upside down in the cars. If they said to everybody, hey, yeah, if you're upside down in the car, we can't finance you, that would be a problem for the car industry. Do you guys understand that? By rolling negative equity into new car loans, that keeps you trapped into the cars. You guys have to forever finance cars, and now you guys think it's just normal. It's just, hey, man, what's my payment? Young people, you guys don't have to be on that side of it. But if you get If if sex controls you and you get caught up in like, hey girl, I'm gonna buy you a new car. They always say that, I'm gonna buy you a new car. No, they're financed a new car for their woman and they're making payments on it. That's all. Hey baby, look what I bought you. You didn't buy nothing. It doesn't matter if a big red bow is on it. You financed it. I know a lot of people who are in the lease car loop. Exactly. It's crazy. They are so proud of their new car every 2 to 3 years, and they're trapped. They're not gonna tell you they're trapped. They're not gonna tell you they're trapped though. They're not gonna say that. LG shut down the servers on my Stylo 4. Had to buy a brand new phone, cost between 450 to 500 bucks, paid it off. Oh yeah. They forced me out of my Note 8. They sure did this year. They forced me out of my Note 8. I buy used 7-year-old cars, cash fix any problem, if any. Exactly. And use for at least 5 years. Never buy cars with payments. Terrible. Hey, man, congratulations, Carrie. Congratulations. Very smart. Because I was a true financing car debt slave. Believe that. I was a true hey man, car payments is normal. I can afford the payment. That was my motto. I never let myself get well, no, I can't say that. I did get upside down in cars. I sure did. Scratch that. I sure did. I was caught up in that shit too. Yep, don't live outside your means. Yeah, my niece want that new iPhone 13. I said you're going to pay for it yourself. I'll get her the $50 Walmart phone. Oh, your niece, she wants that. Oh. Is that even out yet? Did they announce the new iPhone 13? I haven't even. Yeah, you guys know I don't watch the news. Brand new cars are liabilities, not assets. Sure or not. Upside down, upside down that car. Sure is. You got millions. Hey, listen, you guys got there's millions of debt slaves upside down in their new cars. Millions. They out there washing the car, shining up, putting on rims and putting in lights and sound system. They doing all that, putting all that stuff on a finance car. Isn't that is absolutely bananas. Financing the car and then financing rims and financing stereo systems and rim. Oh my God. Mm. My sister said it's dumb to buy a new car if it's not electric. And I told her if you have a note on it, it doesn't matter. But I don't argue with debt slaves anymore. You sure don't. They don't know. Debt slaves do not know a finance electric car don't save money on gas. They'll look at you like, what? What what are you talking about? A finance car don't save money on gas. Never mind, debt slave. Never mind. See you later. Poof. Vanish. I'm telling you, it's a superpower. Exactly. Hey Nick, we all been there. I was in there. I was like, damn. I used to say to myself too, I was like, man, if I sell this car, there was a few times when I wanted to get out of payments. I wanted to sell my car, but I found each time I calculate, oh man, but I got to come up with like $5,000. I ain't got that. Guess what? Continue making payments. That's what I said all the time. I can afford the payment. Upside down in the car alone is like being upside down world and Stranger Things in the upside down world. See, I never watched that show, Stranger Things. What's up, ML? I did see a AMG GTR 4-door in matte black today. It looks sweet, but not that 150K price. It's like this. This is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to be able to one day, you get into position to where $150,000 car is $150 to you. Because when you say the price of a car, you got to be thinking like when you say that, and then I'm not saying specifically you, I'm just saying in general, Waldemar. When you say $150,000 car, you got to remember first of all, you're only coming from your perspective, and then you got to think like this: what if you walked up to Jeff Bezos and said, "Hey, Jeff, is $150,000 car a lot of money for you?" And then you ask the same of Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. That's where you want to be, to where 150,000 is $150. You're buying a brand new car for your girlfriend who's going to leave you and wreck the car, and you ain't going to be left with a broken heart. Yeah, because you buy a car for another person, and then you break up and you say, "Hey, I want that car back." Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna tear it up. Oh, I ain't giving it back to him. I'm a wreck to scratch it up. Yeah, see, that's what happens. You know why they're quick to do that? Because they didn't pay for it. That's why they're quick to do it. First, when you give it to them and you say, "This is your car," they treat it like gold. They're gonna treat it like gold. Oh, this is mine. Who my man bought this car for me? And gonna treat it, shine it up, look at everybody. And then once they break up and say, "Okay, you got to bring that car back," they're gonna tear it up. First it's there, and then they say, "Oh, F that," and I'm gonna just it ain't mine no more. It ain't mine anyway, so I might as well take it. See, first it's yours, now it's not. No, it never was yours or his. That's why the banks listen. That's why the banks require people who finance cars to have full coverage because you didn't have the money to buy the car in the first place. Of course, you have to have full coverage. You didn't have the money to buy it. You- If you don't have the money to buy it, you showing the money, you ain't gonna have the money to replace it. So of course you have to have full coverage. You have to have full coverage. That's a requirement. Anyway, I hope you young people get this message. I really do. I really, 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 really do. I really do. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Good night.